Julian Tuwim, Mr. Little and the Whale. There once was a man named Little, the smallest to ever set sail. He'd seen and explored it all except for the majestic whale. Mr. Little was just like his namesake, small as a wee coffee bean. But that didn't stop him from traveling or prevent him from dreaming big dreams. So it's no surprise then at all that he dreamed of seeing a whale, because they're astoundingly large, you might even say, off the scale. When at last Mr. Little was ready, he'd prepared himself perfectly well. He packed his things and readied his boat made out of a hazelnut shell. He lined his boat with some wool to make the deck feel less coarse. Then he took out a matchstick and fashioned himself some oars. He carried a sack of food, a tent, and a barrel of wine, a bicycle, and various tools, all in that nutshell confined. He packed a radio and a cannon, clothes, long johns, and a fur coat, and while you might not believe it, it all fit in that hazelnut boat. And how did it fit, you ask? It fit because it was minute, like Mr. Little himself, who wears the most minuscule suits. He took the boat under his arm, climbed on the back of a fly, then turned and said,
"So long, my friends. It looks like this is goodbye."
1 hour later he landed and stopped to ask the port captain,
"Do you have space on the sea?"
"Of course we do, yes sirree." So little Mr. Little cast off and was soon on his way. He sailed for a day and a night, getting further and further away. The sea was calm and quiet. The sky was blue and serene. Mr. Little surveyed the waters, but not a whale could be seen. He set to rowing his boat and kept it up day and night. Soon 2 weeks had gone by, with nary a whale in sight. He cried,
"Show yourself, my whale friend. Where are you, you brilliant beast? Just tell me where I can find you, to the west or more to the east."
He sailed for 2 months longer, and still no whale could be found. At last he grew so exhausted that he fell asleep fast and sound. Oh, how he dreamed of dry land and sleeping in his own bed. Suddenly he woke with a start. He'd sailed to an island instead. He took his boat under his arm and set foot on solid ground.
"I'll rest," he thought. "Then continue. Maybe then a whale will be found."
He rode his bike round the island and explored to his heart's desire. 3 days he pedaled until at last his legs started to tire. He set up his radio, danced, sang, and ate. At last he said to himself,
"Time for bed now. It's late."
He soon started pitching his tent and set it up quickly with ease. But when he knocked in a tent peg, suddenly the island sneezed. "Achoo!" it roared and complained. "What in the sea world was that? Who jabs a whale in the nose? I'm not something you can just poke at."
"You're a whale?"
said Mr. Little, shaking from head to toe. "Yes, I'm a whale, you fool, and you just shoved a peg in my nose. I'm under water, can't you see? Be careful or you'll end up dead."
And the island?"
"That's no island, silly. That's just the top of my head." Mr. Little began to shiver. "Stop that tickling, aren't you afeard?"
"I'm not tickling, just all a quiver. It's high time I disappeared."
He grabbed up his nutshell boat and was quickly homeward bound. That whale was one sea creature he wished that he'd never found. Now, when anyone asks him if he's ever seen a whale, he takes a deep breath and answers,
"Yes, it's quite the terrifying tale.